All right, welcome back to my channel, Just Doing Great Things. Today I'm sitting around the house. I'm thinking I need to make a video and I also need to cook supper. And I thought, how about homemade pizza? We all have our favorite places to get pizza, and there's a lot of great pizza places out there, but every once in a while I just like to make my own. So today we're going to make two pizzas, one for me and one for my wife and mother-in-law. Theirs will be more of a thin crust. Mine will be a thicker crust cooked in a cast iron skillet with butter around the edges, the whole 9 yards. I'm more of a meat eater, and they will be having at least some mushrooms put on their pizza. Can't do that. But you know, that's a great thing about pizza. You can put exactly what you want on there. So that's what we're doing today. Hope you enjoy this. All right, the first thing we're going to make is the crust. For the crust, we'll need 1 package of dry active yeast, 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 cup of warm water, somewhere between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. What we have in this bowl is the warm water, the teaspoon of honey, and the active dry yeast. I neglected to hit the record button, so this did not record, but we're going to let this sit here for 10 minutes and let that yeast kick into gear and make sure it's active, and we'll continue on. All right, this yeast is in good shape and it's active. Now it's time to add the kosher salt, the olive oil, get that stirring around, and then we can add our first cup of flour. And we'll get that to mixing. All right, let's add in the second cup of flour. And now it's time for 1/2 of the third cup of flour. And now we're going to add a little bit more of the remaining flour and let that mix. And now for the last of the flour. We'll add that in there and get it mixed in also. All right, that is just about mixed like we need it. And we'll take it off the hook. And going to knead a little bit, fold it in on the bottom, fold it in on itself over and over again. All right, we're going to take that ball of dough and we're going to tuck in the bottom over and over again and create a good round ball with this. And I have taken this clear plastic container and I've put olive oil in it, and I'm going to get the olive oil and put it all over the ball. I want to make sure that olive oil's in there so it doesn't stick to the container. I've even got this spray olive oil. I'm going to spray a little bit more on the top just to make sure. I love these clear plastic containers because you can see the dough rising inside the container. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to set it on top of the oven. I've got the oven set at 200 degrees and it blows warm air out on it, and it's really going to help it rise. Alright, this is our setup with the container on the oven. We're going to let it sit here for 40 minutes and rise. It should rise till it's about double the size it is now. Now it's time to set up the workstation so I can put these pizzas together. What we're going to use today is, I've got this Prego pizza sauce. To me, it's the best I can find. I've got mozzarella cheese, I've got mushrooms, I've got Canadian bacon, I've got pepperoni, and I've got some sausage that I don't have in the picture. Alright, we're going to drain the water out of the mushrooms. You don't need a lot of water content in a pizza. And we'll put them in a bowl. Next, we're going to chop up the Canadian bacon. I don't like to use the whole slices because you can bite into it and it'll pull everything off. So I chop them up into quarters. And we'll put them in a bowl. Alright, this should finish off the Canadian bacon. And that is done. The dough is just about done rising. It's 40 minutes, so I'm going to prepare my floured surface so that I can roll out this dough here shortly, and then cut it into two parts for the two pizzas. I'm going to punch the air out of it. and I'm going to divide it into 2 pieces. One for each pizza that we're going to make. I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold in the corners. And once again, go back and make a ball out of each one of these. I tried to make it as even as I could, but hey, nothing's perfect. I'm going to continue to work these 2 dough balls and prepare them for their second time to rise. We're going to try to get them as perfectly round as we possibly can and put them on a tray and let them rise for another 20 minutes. We'll go ahead and put some parchment paper on this pizza plate, and that way they won't stick. Cover this with a damp cloth and put it back close to the heat source on the oven for 20 minutes. I went ahead and prepared the rest of the station to put together the pizzas. I've got the pepperoni, the sausage, the cheese, and the pizza sauce all lined up and ready to go. Now I'm going to take one of the balls of dough, lay it out, flatten it out with my fingers first. Stretch it out just a little bit. And then I will use a floured rolling pin to continue to stretch this out and make it thinner. My wife likes a thin pizza crust, and so that's what I'm working on for hers. Now, I'm sure I don't handle this like a pro. I've seen people work with dough much better than I do. But hey, like I said, I'm not a chef. I just enjoy cooking. I just about got that rolled out thin enough. Now I'll put it on the pizza plate that I'm going to cook it on. Get that out of my way for a moment. And then I'm going to work on the lip of this pizza crust and try to make it match up with the lip on the pan, the pizza pan. Plus, I'm going to kind of tuck it in that little where the pan meets the lip. I'm going to kind of put a little indentation around that so it's flush with the pan. Now, when I was younger and worked at a pizza place for a short while, they taught us to always perforate the bottom of the crust so that it doesn't bubble up And if you've ever got a pizza with a bubble there in the crust, well, that's, I guess, what causes it. At least that's what I was told. So I perforate mine. I'm then going to take some of the pizza sauce. And, you know, a lot of people say you can put way too much pizza sauce on here. And I have to agree. You don't want too much pizza sauce, but you want enough that you can taste it. So, and I think I just got a feel for it and just went with what I had. So I'm going to spread that out as evenly as possible. And a good rule of thumb is push it all the way to the outside. There's nothing more irritating than getting a pizza and none of the goodies is all the way to the outside, whether it's the toppings or the sauce or whatever. You want to push it all the way to the far edge. It really irritates me to get a pizza that doesn't have toppings all the way out to the far edge. That looks good enough. I'm going to go a thin layer of the cheese. Once again, I'm going to try to push it to that far edge. And this is just a thin layer. I'm going to put some more on at the end. We like cheese. It's time for the pepperonis, side by side by side. There, I don't need a bunch of big gaps in between my pepperonis. Once upon a time, I think I was pretty quick at this, but I'm not so quick at it anymore. When you have to make hundreds of pizzas a day, you get pretty fast. And when you don't, you don't. Now it's time for some Canadian bacon. And, you know, I'm just kind of going for feel here. Um, there's no specific amount I'm putting on here. I just want it to have Canadian bacon when you're eating it, and the person wants pepperoni and Canadian bacon and mushroom. Well, you should get some of that with, you know, when you bite into the pizza. And after I put some of this on there, I thought, you know, I could put a little bit more. So I went back and started spacing out a little bit more. It works for me. You know, you do you. So I just went and spaced it out some more and put some more Canadian bacon on there. And now it's time for the mushrooms. Once again, you know, just get a feel for it, however many you think you need to put on there. I know at a pizza place they tell you exactly, you know, how many ounces of what on whatever pizza, you know, because of food cost. But when you're making a pizza at home and your wife likes a lot of toppings on hers, that's what I'm going to make. And if I like a lot of toppings on mine, that's what I'm going to make. I don't have to worry about food costs. I'm just going to make the pizza like I want it. And then I'm going to go another layer of cheese. And now it's time to make my pizza. It's going to be a little thicker, and it's going to be made in a cast iron skillet. In this case, I'm using a filled cast iron skillet I got for Christmas one year and absolutely love it. If you don't own some cast iron, you should. I'm going to take that dough and I've got to roll it out. I just don't have to roll it out as thin this time around. I've already sprayed some olive oil into the cast iron pan so nothing will stick. Take that and stretch that out. And I apologize for not having that in the camera. I'm actually trying to form this crust inside the cast iron skillet. There we go. Now maybe we'll transfer it over here. There we go. I'm working on the crust, making sure that it's as even as I can get it inside the pan. I'm going to perforate it so that it doesn't bubble up. Go with the pizza sauce all the way out to the outside. A layer of cheese. Go ahead and refill my cheese while I'm at it. And then the pepperonis, side by side by side. Don't skip on pepperonis. Don't skimp on anything. But then again, you can put too much of something too. Canadian bacons. And then sausage. Now this is pork sausage. It is breakfast, like breakfast sausage. I could have used Italian sausage, but I decided to go with this. And then another layer of cheese. You don't have to worry about me eating any of those mushrooms. That's not going to happen. Can't do it, people. And now it's time to put these in the oven at 450 degrees. When the pizzas have about 2 or 3 minutes left of cooking time, I like to take them out, and I'll take this melted butter and this brush, and I will put butter on that outside crust. Oh, let me tell you folks, that is a game changer. You hear that butter, and it's hitting that cast iron, it's sizzling, and it's fantastic, and it smells good. So I'm going to do this on both of them and continue to cook them. All right, here's the first pizza done. And here is the second. Man, they smell good. Thanks for watching Just Doing Great Things. If you would, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Maybe we can grow this channel.